The first time Daniel looked at my clothes with disgust, I pretended not to notice. I had just returned from work. My dress was dusty. My shoes were covered in mud, and there was a small tear near the sleeve. I worked at a small laundry shop on the edge of town, and by the end of every day, my clothes carried the evidence of my work. Daniel was waiting outside our apartment. He looked at me from head to toe and frowned. "You couldn't at least make yourself look decent?" he asked. I looked down at my clothes. "I've been working all day," I said quietly. He shook his head. "I don't understand how you can walk around looking like that." His words hurt, but I said nothing. I loved Daniel. I believed that if two people loved each other, they could overcome almost anything. So I convinced myself that his comments were just frustration. But they became more frequent. Whenever we went somewhere together, he would tell me to change. If my clothes were old, he complained. If my shoes were dusty, he complained. If I came home tired from work, he complained. One evening, he invited me to dinner with some of his friends. I had only one nice dress, and it had already been worn many times. I washed it carefully, ironed it, and wore it that night. When Daniel saw me, his expression changed. "You're wearing that?" I smiled nervously. "It's the best dress I have." He sighed. "Forget it." "I'm not taking you." My smile disappeared. "What?" I said, "I'm not taking you." "You'll embarrass me." That sentence broke something inside me. I looked at him for a long moment. "Daniel, you know I work hard." "I don't dress this way because I want to." He shrugged. "That's not my problem." I stayed home that night. For the first time, I began asking myself whether love was supposed to make me feel this small. A few weeks later, something happened that changed everything. Our laundry shop received a large contract from a luxury hotel. The owner needed someone to supervise the new project. And because I had worked harder than anyone else, my manager chose me. The job came with better pay and new responsibilities. I was excited. I rushed home to tell Daniel. I got promoted. He barely looked up from his phone. "Congratulations." I smiled. "I'll be earning almost twice as much now." That finally got his attention. Twice as much. Yes. Suddenly, his attitude changed. He became interested in my work. He asked about my schedule. He wanted to know how much money I would make. But I noticed something. He wasn't proud of me. He was interested in what my success could give him. I kept working. Months passed and my life slowly changed. I bought better clothes. Not because Daniel demanded it, but because I wanted to feel confident. I saved money. I learned new skills. I became a supervisor. One afternoon, Daniel came to my workplace. He saw me wearing a clean uniform, giving instructions to several employees. He looked surprised. "You've changed," he said. I smiled. "Yes, I have." He walked closer. "You look beautiful." I thanked him, but inside, I remembered all the times he had looked at my dirty clothes with disgust. Later that evening, he asked me to come back to him. "I made a mistake," he said. "I didn't appreciate you before." I looked at him quietly. "Daniel, you didn't hate my clothes," I said. "You hated what you thought my clothes said about me." He lowered his eyes. "You saw dirt and assumed I was worthless." "You never saw the woman underneath it." He tried to apologize, and I believed that people could change. But forgiveness did not mean returning to the same place. I had spent too long believing that I needed someone else's approval to feel valuable. That day, I walked away. My clothes had once been dirty because I worked hard. My hands had been rough because I earned my living honestly. And I finally understood something Daniel had never understood. There is nothing shameful about honest work. Dirty clothes can be washed, but a person's dignity should never be treated like dirt. Years later, whenever I saw someone working under the hot sun, carrying heavy loads, or returning home with dusty clothes, I never looked at them with disgust. I looked at them with respect, because I knew the truth. Sometimes the person wearing the dirtiest clothes is carrying the cleanest heart.